Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Definitely going to be yet another soggy Sunday out there, and it looks like the rain's going to be sticking around heading into our work week. But when will we dry out? I'll have those details coming up in just a bit.
All right, Brittany Ward there in the Weather Center to start us off. Brittany, thank you. Developing right now on DC News Now, Sunday morning food court chaos, gunfire inside of a popular mall in Maryland. Shoppers scrambling to take cover. We are on the scene with the very latest and tracking Ian's impact here in the DMV. What the storm brought to Virginia and what is still to come. Brittany Ward is in the Weather Center. We'll check in with her in just a couple seconds. And later on, it's Battle of the Bergs. Leesburg and Gaithersburg have both made the list for the top places to live with the family. One's got to be better than the other, right? We put them both to the test in a report with our friend Jimmy Alexander. Well, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us for DC News Now. It is a soggy morning over the White House as we all wake up this Sunday morning. Thanks so much for being here with us. I am Joseph Ulmo. Let's bring Brittany Ward in on the conversation because, Brittany, there isn't a lot of green compared to yesterday behind you, but there is still some stuff on that radar, huh? Yeah, still some clouds and some rain that we're going to be dealing with heading into our Sunday, and Joe, even heading in to the work week. Here's a live look at radar showing you what's been going on since about that 5 o'clock hour this morning. You saw that low still kind of hovering over central Virginia. Heavier bands of rains, though, still currently over the West Virginia panhandle and even portions of West Virginia in general. But overall, it's going to be yet another soggy day out there, so definitely have the umbrella on hand. Right now in our area, most of the heavier and steadier bands of rain is actually over the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. We did see some steadier rain over there in Hagerstown, but that have started to move out. We still have a wind advisory that's in effect, though, for Culver, Maryland, and even St. Mary's, Maryland, until about 2 p.m. tomorrow, and that's because our wind will be gusting around 20 to 40 miles per hour. Now, we are going to be drying out, so I'll have those details coming up in just a bit. All right, Brittany, thank you. Breaking right now, a toddler shot in the district. That report and this video you're looking at coming in this morning from our contributor Larry Calhoun over at DC Real Time News. He says it happened on Q Street Northeast. No word on the condition of the child, though once we get that info in, we will bring it to you across our DC News Now platforms, including DCNewsNow.com. We are also following some developing news as we come on the air this morning. Arundel Mills Mall is back open for business today. It comes after chaos in the food court yesterday, a gunshot going off and shoppers running for cover. Our Dave Laval spoke with some of the people who were there when it happened. He gets us up to speed this morning on what we know and what we still don't know.
It's the last thing shoppers at Arundel Mills Mall expected Saturday. They went in to shop, have fun, relax, and be with friends. Instead, many feared for their lives after a gunshot went off inside the mall.
I was scared. I've never experienced something like this before.
Grace Antiwa manages the family store inside Arundel Mills. She and employees thought something fell, but that sound turned out to be a gunshot.
Everybody was running. People were like trying to get out of the mall. People were trying to go into stores to help them stay safe.
And Arundel County Police told us the gunshot went off in the food court around 3:30 p.m. But they don't believe this was a criminal act.
We were able to view video, and it appears that an unknown subject that was there in the mall accidentally, from what we've seen, accidentally discharged a weapon.
The gunshot, according to police, forced the temporary closure of that area of the mall. And Arundel County Police told us the gunshot did not wound anyone. However, a couple of people suffered minor injuries in the panic to get out of the mall. In Hanover, Maryland, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, with that important update there this morning. Dave, thanks. Police are still working to talk to the owner of the gun that accidentally went off. Breaking now, panic at a soccer game in Indonesia. Take a look right there. At least 129 people are dead. That is not a typo. 129 people, mostly trampled to death, we were told, according to police. Several fights broke out between two rival teams on the field. It happened just after the game ended overnight. Police started to throw tear gas to stop the fighting, which led to people scrambling to avoid the gas. More than 300 people were rushed to the hospital, and based on their conditions, the death toll is expected to rise. Well, not one, not two, but three. That is the number of firearms that were prevented from making their way onto a plane at Reagan National Airport this past week. TSA officers confiscated a loaded .25 caliber handgun on Wednesday, and then just a day later on Thursday, another 2 passengers were caught with guns as they made their way through security checkpoints. In all 3 cases, the guns were taken from the passengers and they were cited. Now, most often, the passenger is still allowed to fly as long as they don't miss their flight, because obviously the confiscation takes some time. But the fines can be hefty, up to roughly $14,000 plus a criminal referral. Not to mention, if you have TSA pre-check and this happens, you lose those privileges. In a statement sent to DC News Now, John Bush, TSA's federal security director over at Reagan, he had this to say, quote, "It is disturbing to see so many individuals carrying their firearms to our security checkpoints. We are happy to transport it as long as it is properly packed and declared with the airline." Well, surveying the damage, that is what's happening across Virginia this morning after Ian washed over the area. Local updates on flooding and damage are coming in multiple times a day, with the Department of Defense and FEMA traveling from Pennsylvania to provide backup. This video you're looking at right here, that is flooding in Norfolk, which was a main area concern, along with Southwest Virginia.
I think flooding with Ian is going to be the biggest concern that we have throughout the Commonwealth. We've been really focusing on the areas of Hampton Roads and Tidewater, as well as Southwest Virginia.
Officials say you should download the 511 Virginia app for real-time road safety updates.
When has there been basically a Category 5 hurricane that's hit, and then less than 48 hours later, you have the supermarket open in one of the areas that was the most hardest hit?
Well, down in Florida, the state is in full recovery mode following that once-in-a-lifetime hurricane. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis gave an update on how the Sunshine State is doing. As you heard, they're celebrating the gas stations and grocery stores that are starting to reopen already, even in some of the most devastated areas. At the same time, the search is on for any survivors of the hurricane who may have gotten lost in all of the wreckage. And an unexpected consequence of the hurricane, orange juice prices are expected to surge. Yeah, Hurricane Ian knocked out the crop across much of Florida. It's no secret here that the Sunshine State produces almost all of our nation's orange juice, and it also means the supply of fresh produce could be impacted as well. Watermelons, we're talking strawberries, cabbage, and other crops could be getting more expensive in the coming weeks, so watch out for that